Hi, Tim. Thanks for joining again. Okay, so can we start off by talking a little bit about your background in the fitness industry and what did you do till now?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you want me?
Yeah. So I think you started with you were a firefighter before. Is that right?
Yes. Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, I was a professional firefighter for 12 years, and I first became a personal trainer in 1998,
Mm-hmm.
and I was doing both at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
And after I wrote the book called Becoming Bulletproof,
Yeah.
I decided it was time to leave the fire department and focus more on training and movement.
Okay. Okay. That's nice. That's nice. So that's after that you started the original strength system company. Is it?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. So could we talk a little bit about what is the original strength system? If you can explain, please.
Yeah, so original strength is it's a movement system, but really all it is it's our basic human design for movement. So we're all born with a movement template inside of our nervous system that is designed to tie our bodies together, build our brain and our nervous system, and get us up on 2 feet so that we can live life and explore our world. And every human being that is born and has ever been born has this movement template or this original movement program inside of their nervous system. So we all have it. And all original strength is it's all we're doing is we're helping people tap back into that original movement program to rediscover the strength that they're designed to have.
All right. Yeah, that makes sense. And continuing with that, can you describe what are original strength resets?
Yeah, so we say that there are 5 basic resets, um, and these are the things that the movements that are in our developmental sequence. The first one is breathing, and everybody breathes, but we're designed to breathe a certain way, and we're all born breathing a certain way, and that's the original design of breath. So that's the first reset, and then the next reset is head control, and then the next reset is rolling.
Mhm.
And then the fourth reset is rocking, and then the fifth reset is crawling.
Crawling. Yeah. I do it myself, and I've been doing. It is basically, we do feel amazing, but also it helps in injury prevention, like non-contact injuries, right?
Yes.
How?
When we press reset, it teaches, well, it gives our nervous system information that it's looking for. One way to look at it is that it helps the nervous system feel safe because the nervous system's getting really good information. The
Mhm.
other thing pressing reset does is it takes that information
Yeah.
and your body learns how to stabilize the joints. It learns how to turn on the right muscles and the right patterns so that we can move fluidly and efficiently. And when we have fluid and efficient movement, we're least likely to get injured when we don't have any compensations or rigidity or extra tension in our bodies.
Yeah. True. Perfect. Uh, if I can ask you, how many injuries have you faced after discovering original strength? You have been practicing the original strength method from several years. Did you face any injuries after that? I was just curious.
Yeah, because one thing original strength doesn't do for you is it doesn't necessarily make you super smart.
Hmm.
So, so I am still able to not listen to my body when it's telling me that I shouldn't be doing stuff. So I have had some injuries. I was really tired one day, and I was gonna work out even though I was tired, and
Uh,
my body was telling me to rest,
uh-huh.
and I was like, no, I'm just gonna do this anyway. And then I tore something, a muscle
Uh,
that I could have otherwise not torn had I just, been smart enough to listen to my body and taken that day off.
yeah. Okay. So what is that like listening? I think you're pointing out to listening to a body stuff something here. Like, is it about rest days or is it about how feeling it and doing the workout or taking rest?
So sometimes, like the more you engage in your design, your body has all this. It's loaded with wisdom,
Mm-hmm.
and it knows what it's looking for. And if you start paying attention, because we have our own thoughts and notions, like, well, I'm going to do this, and we make plans to do things, or we have our own mental habits.
Mm-hmm.
But the body's over here minding its own business with its own plans and its own knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
And if we take the time to listen to it, it can keep us out of a lot of trouble.
Mm-hmm.
Um, like a lot of people get sick because they're not listening to their bodies. The body gives off signals or warning signs. Hey, you're not feeling all that good. You should probably get some more sleep, or maybe you need to eat something, or maybe you need to drink some water. So the
Yeah.
body's always trying to tell us information, and we get to decide whether we're going to listen to it, ignore it, or just be oblivious to it. But the more in tune you are with your body, the more you press reset, you get more in tune with your body. You
Okay.
can start picking up on those messages.
Yeah, that makes sense. That is helpful. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, going to the next question. What is your current movement routine look like? Like a week routine? Just.
Oh, well, I'm kind of, I go through movement seasons. Currently in this season, I get up in the morning and I press, I do the daily 21s.
Oh,
So those are the movement routines I wrote about in a book called Discovering You. And they're really pressing reset, but it's just a structured way that I
uh-huh.
like to press reset with, a loose
Yeah,
structure.
I've been. I was doing that method. I was feeling wonderful as always, and I
Yeah.
got in pretty good shape as well.
Yeah, yeah. Like it's to me, it's so simple and wonderful, and it does leave you feeling amazing. So I do those every morning. And then I wrote a program called Design Your Body for Original Strength Institute,
Mm-hmm.
and it's a training program, a 6-week program, which is again it's more pressing reset and other body weight movements designed to really just tie your body together so you can do whatever you want to do. So I'm
Mm-hmm.
also currently doing that, so it pairs really well with the daily 21s.
Oh, okay, okay, okay.
And then every day I try to make sure I get in either a carry, a 10-minute carry, or a 10-minute crawl, and I
Mm.
go for a good long walk.
Oh, wow. Is it all in one session or separate?
No, they're typically separate. So the 21s and the Design Your Body are together,
Uh-huh.
and then I might carry later, and I definitely go for a walk later. I just try to get that in before the end of the day.
Okay, okay, okay. No wonder you have a six-pack body. Okay, but do you do rest days or no? Just
I do rest days in that I'll say yes, but I try to walk every day and I
Mhm.
press reset every day. So if you're counting those as because I'm doing something not a rest day, then the
Mm.
answer would be no. But really, those are restorative and they actually help your body rest. So I'm going to say yes, I do rest days, even though I press reset every day, or I do the daily 21s every day.
Okay. So are you saying those are parasympathetic nervous system movements? All the.
Yes.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah, so they're really good at taking your autonomic nervous system and helping you stay in parasympathetic mode or rest and digest mode,
Uh-huh.
which helps you sleep better, which helps you digest your food better. So it helps your body just recover and restore itself better.
Okay. But does that help in doing things like doing anything like for a project? For example, it's like I'm asking, does rest and digest mode help in doing things?
It does, because when our body is at peace,
Uh-huh.
when there's no stress or alarm systems going off and there's no emergency, the
Yeah.
body is way more efficient. And cognitively and creatively, we are at our peak in those moments. That's when we can solve problems better. we can create art better or ideas, come up with solutions. It's when we can move better, we can breathe easier. Everything is working on a better system when we're in rest and digest mode. Now, if there's a real emergency, then we want sympathetic mode to kick off so that we can have more strength or run faster. But we're not trying to solve problems and be creative, when there's an emergency. The only
Yeah.
problem we're trying to solve is, okay, how do I get out of this emergency?
Yeah, yeah. Makes sense. Makes complete sense. Wonderful. Uh, so talking, I've seen your 1 minute, 1 mile Spider-Man crawl video, which you have done. I think it's an amazing feat of strength and endurance. So, how did you do that? What was your training program for that?
Ooh, well, I didn't really specifically train to do that. Now I did crawl a lot every day, but I enjoyed it. Like, so I started crawling for time. Like, could I crawl for 10 minutes? And then when I could, I was like, well, could I crawl for 20? And then
Mm-hmm.
I did. And then I'm like, well, could I crawl for 40? And so I just started, like, I was curious and I would just see how long I could crawl for. And I had a friend named John Brookfield, who he's the guy that created the battling ropes training system.
Yeah.
And he told me one day, he's like, Tim, I bet you could crawl a mile. You should
Mm-hmm.
try that. And then he goes, I think you should try it. So I never intended to do that at all. It did not sound like anything fun for me to do. But
Yeah.
when John encouraged me to do it, I thought, well, if he thinks I can, maybe I can.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how I ended up crawling a mile, just because John suggested that I should.
Yeah. It took around 45 minutes, I guess, right?
Yep. Yeah, the
So
second time, because I actually did it twice.
yeah, I got
The
it.
first time it was, I think 51 minutes. And
Oh.
then, but I didn't videotape it. And John's like, no, you can't really prove you did it. So he goes, I think you should do it again, but this time videotape it. So that's why I did it twice.
Oh, okay, okay. Did you try anything like this after that? I know you've been doing the with John Brookfield the bucket stuff on the trees. You would do that stuff, the resets and stuff. But anything else you did?
So a few months after that, I thought, you know what? I wonder if I could crawl a mile backwards.
Oh.
Yeah, exactly. So I I went out there and I started crawling around the same track that I crawled the mile forward on. And when I got to a quarter of a mile, I had already done, I was, 25% of it. And I had this thought, and it was an amazing thought. And
Mm-hmm.
it was literally, Tim, you don't need to do this.
Oh.
And as soon as that thought went across my head, I said, you're right, I don't. So I stood up and went home.
Okay. What were you crawling or before that? Were
No,
you?
it was while I was crawling.
Oh,
I had
okay.
just made it a quarter of a mile thinking, man, I've got 3 more of these laps to go.
Yeah, like you don't have to prove anything.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
for anybody.
and that was pretty much the gist of it. There was nothing to prove, and so
Yeah.
what if I did it? And then
Yeah.
so what if I didn't do it? Um, so I was okay just being able to stand up and walk away. So
Okay, okay. That was my next question actually. Like, what do you think then if you can crawl up for that amount, what do you think is the human performance potential or limit?
oh, I really don't. I think the only limit that humans have is their mind.
Mm-hmm.
Because I've learned from like, so my friend, like, again, John Brookfield, he's in the Guinness Book of World Records for a bunch of different things. And the
Mm-hmm.
reason he's in there for all those different things is because he believed he could do it.
Yeah.
He never, like, if for wherever you don't see his name, there's a chance that he believed he couldn't do it. But
Mm-hmm.
that's not how he operates, because he only sees his potential, right?
Yeah.
So I think our biggest and truest lid is right here. Um, Beyond that, yeah, with the sky's the limit. We can almost do anything we set our minds to.
Yeah, yeah. But how does it work, like practical? Like, is it like visualization? Like going a little bit more detail about that. Is it? Do you guys have like any kind of practices or something, or
Uh, so
visualize, for example? Yeah.
for John, well, I can speak for me too. Of course I can speak for me. I know I can speak for John. Both of us, for the things we've done, we believe that God was going to help us do it. Like there was something outside of ourselves, like all the power wasn't in us, but that the power would come to us and help us.
Okay.
So it was a greater belief than just our own physical ability. Like
Uh,
if like I distinctly remember the day I went out to crawl the mile, I was just over and over in my head, I was saying things like, I can do all things through God who strengthens me. So and holding on to that, that was like an anchor for me to
uh,
be able to crawl. Like so even when it got hard, if I just thought about that, it wasn't hard anymore.
yeah.
So I can't say I visualized crawling, but I do know that visualization is extremely helpful when it comes to trying to push your barriers and your limits.
Yeah.
Because if you can mentally see yourself doing something,
Mm-hmm.
then your nervous system takes that, and as far as your nervous system is concerned, is you have done it.
Mm-hmm.
So it makes it less foreign to your body,
Okay.
um, because your nervous system doesn't know the difference between what's real and your imagination. So
Yeah, that makes sense. But like, does this is that only for physical feats, or does it help for your business and other stuff like mental?
I honestly do think it does greatly help with your business or any other endeavor that you are looking to accomplish. It does, yeah. I mean, it physical. You can see how it helps physically. That's the easiest thing to see.
Mm-hmm.
But imagination or visualization and positive mindset, like that's fairly much proven to help. I mean, people that that use their imagination and creativity and positivity, they are typically successful.
Yeah.
And also people that use their imagination in the negative route,
Mm-hmm.
they typically still end up with where their mind's going. So if they're having negative thoughts, that is pretty much the lid on what they achieve, or they actually get their negative thoughts can come to pass, or their those events, just because that's where they're pointing their intentions and their thoughts to all the time,
Mm-hmm.
which is a slippery slope.
Yeah, 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 true, true. Even I felt it, like even I get very like negative thoughts. Like I did a last interview with Dan John actually, right? Like I was like during the when I saw my video afterwards, like during the first half of the video, I was like positive or like confident. Afterwards, I didn't feel as much confident. I could imagine like negative thoughts were running. So is that a habit, or is that a habit also, you can say, and we can change it?
It can be habit. Well, really what it is it's our ego, right? Like so the ego is always trying to create these fires
Mm-hmm.
that we have to put out.
Uh,
Or so and it's really weird because you can be in different areas of your life. You can be positive in one area but negative in another area.
yeah, true. That happens.
And it is such a weird uh, way of how we are. But and negativity, as much as we don't like it,
Mm-hmm.
there's energy to it,
Uh-huh.
and it dry like because like here you probably know what I'm talking about. Say you do a workshop or you teach a workshop, and there's 20 people in the workshop.
Yeah,
Let's say 19 people say that was the best workshop I've ever taken. Thank you so much.
yeah,
And let's say one person says that was a waste of my time. I can't believe I was even here.
yeah,
What is your mind going to grab onto? Are you going to think about the 20 that liked it? Or are you going to think about the one person that hated it?
yeah. Negative mostly.
You go towards the negative because there's some weird vortex sucking energy into that just pulls us to it.
Uh,
And it doesn't feel good, but somehow it must in some weird upside down way because that's what we are all drawn to. And that's why social media is so popular.
yeah, right. Makes sense. That's right. But we have to balance it somehow.
Yeah. So I think though the way to balance it is like, you know how you practice your physical training?
Yeah.
You show up every day and maybe you're practicing, you do your routine every day because you're trying to make your body stronger.
Yeah.
That is the exact same way to overcome negativity. You
Mm-hmm.
practice showing up every day and trying to be positive or trying to create those positive thoughts, create that positive vision or imagination.
Mm-hmm.
And then when the negative pops up, you also practice letting it go.
Ah, yeah.
So we have to get our reps in the
Mm.
same way we would if we were doing physical training.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I can imagine. Like, I think meditation would help in this thing.
Yeah, that's a great way to get your reps in.
Ah, yeah. True, 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 true. I have done that actually, to be fair. Do you have a meditation routine? I've never heard about that in any of videos. Yeah.
Yeah, I have a few. Like sometimes I have movement meditations
Ah,
where like I might rock for 10 minutes or more, most of the time 10 minutes, and I might just close my eyes and I might just try to get lost in the motion with no thought,
ah.
to see if I can just let everything go and just sit there and rock and sway, which
Mm-hmm.
I find very, very soothing.
Ah,
Um, and sometimes I'll just sit still and just breathe, just try to really get extremely slow in my breathing rate.
mm-hmm.
And again, trying to not grab on or hold on to any thoughts. And then lately, I've been practicing. I can't Zhanjing, or it's a standing practice where you stand extremely still.
Ah,
Um, and I'll also try to quiet my mind when I'm doing that too.
oh, interesting. Like you're observing your breath or and the
Yeah,
body.
sometimes, or then sometimes I try to actually like once I know it's there and I know it's slow, and I know I even try to let that go sometimes too.
Mm-hmm. Okay, okay. I know it's like, what are the things you picked from Battling Ropes founder John Brookfield?
What other things have I gotten from him?
No, no. What are the like qualities maybe which you have picked up from him overall?
Oh,
Yeah,
overall, the qualities that I picked up from him, would be again like so whatever you believe you can do, you
yeah.
can do. That there really are no limits, and that you have to get very. This is probably one of the bigger ones. You've got to get very comfortable being very uncomfortable.
Okay.
He would always say that you have to learn how to relax during stress.
Mm-hmm. Okay. That comes from practice,
It does come
right?
from practice, but that's how he can like he can do those waves so fast on a rope for like over 8 hours without changing his cadence or his speed.
Oh my God.
So a
Yeah,
lot of practice.
a lot of practice. I'd come across that stuff and I was mind blown. Lot of practice actually, but it's an amazing feat, you know. Okay, that's nice. What is the, if I'm asked about the business model of the original strength systems?
The
Do
business
you want
model,
to discuss about that?
we're an education company that what we try to do is teach other professionals, to teach their clients how to press reset. So we teach personal trainers, we teach physical therapists, chiropractors, medical professionals, strength and conditioning coaches how to. So we teach those that get in front of people to teach how to teach their clients and students or athletes how to press reset too.
Yeah, 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 right. So, for example, how do a person include original strength in their training routine briefly?
So you could do it a number of ways. You could do it as a daily morning movement practice
Yeah.
or a daily nightly practice before you go to bed. Or and the key thing, the key ingredient is daily. Um,
Oh, yeah.
and
Okay.
then, but if you're doing it around your training, like say if you're a weightlifter or a power lifter or an athlete, you can do it before your session, and you can even mix it into your session. Because one of the coolest things is pressing reset restores or refreshes your nervous system. So if you did a heavy set of, I don't know, deadlifts, you could press reset after that heavy set and it would allow you to perform really well on another heavy set, maybe even better than the first one.
Oh,
Um, so it's really neat because it does restore the nervous system. But so yeah, you can do it before you train, while you train, and it's great. It's a great idea to do it after a heavy training session.
yeah. Okay. Perfect. Fair enough. So, how does original strength resets or original strength reset help an athlete?
So for an athlete, and this is for every body that's breathing, what OS does is it helps remove the brakes from their nervous system. So again, once the nervous system feels safe, it allows the body to move more freely in expression. And that expression could be speed, power, strength, mobility, flexibility, ease, control, any quality of movement.
Mm-hmm.
OS helps the body express that quality better. So for an athlete, like it it just really helps them move more gracefully, more beautifully, which means they can jump higher, they can run faster, they can hit harder, whatever their sport is.
Mm-hmm.
It just amplifies their ability to express that, and it shows in their performance.
Okay, that's nice. So, I'd seen you in one of the interviews mentioning about how like doing 20 minutes or 10 minutes of Spider-Man crawl or leopard crawl will make you unstoppable.
Yes.
Does that?
Now, one of the reasons I say that is because when your brain knows that you can crawl for 10 minutes
Mm.
or 20 minutes without resting, without opening your mouth to breathe, without going into panic mode, or without quitting,
Mm-hmm.
then one, your brain knows that, oh, I can do whatever I want to do. I am
Mm-hmm.
unstoppable. Not only that, when your body is capable of doing those things, it is really tied together well. So then you've got two things that when they come together is is a powerful force. When you have a body that's resilient, that has
Yeah.
no brakes on it,
Okay. And the
that is
mind.
also joined with a mind that knows it has no limitations and that it will not quit. There's no need to quit because it can be comfortable being uncomfortable.
Uh-huh.
Then you're unstoppable.
Yeah. True. 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 Perfect. So, yeah, and I was curious about how you come up with many different moments in your YouTube channel. How do you come up with so many different moments?
So those movement meditations I was talking about, a lot of them come from just showing up and getting down on the floor and just rolling or rocking around.
Uh-huh.
Um, like I like they just happen or they come.
Mm.
Which is there. It's always like a great, it's like a very neat discovery because I
Mm.
don't I don't know it's there. I'm not necessarily looking for it, but
Mm.
I might, because I'm there rolling around, I might roll a new way all of a sudden. Or sometimes I'll have a vision of seeing something in my head, and then I'll be curious if I could try it or not.
Ah, yeah, yeah, yeah.
And
That's
then
that's
and that's really wonderful because sometimes I will see the movement before I do it, and then
yeah.
I'll do it, and I'm like, oh, that was awesome.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. It's like the creativity coming out.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's nice. So next question is, how does OS original strength help for an older person who wants to do regular things like hiking or playing with his grandkids or doing the normal regular lifestyle, etc.
So the wonderful thing about our design is and earlier I said that every person is born with that original movement template in their nervous system.
Mm-hmm.
And well, we never lose it. So even if we're 80 years old, we still have that movement program inside of our nervous system in the developmental sequence. And if we
Mm-hmm.
tap back into it, then it gives the nervous system information that is very familiar
Mm-hmm.
and nourishing. And it starts, so our brain is plastic and it can create new neural connections. We can myelinate old neural connections that we haven't pruned away. Either way, we start giving our brain that nourishing information at any age, and the nervous system becomes more efficient. When the
Mm-hmm.
nervous system becomes more efficient, again, it starts taking brakes off the body. The body starts moving better. Pain starts to go away. Stiff
Mm.
joints start to go away.
Oh.
Strength, ease of movement starts to come back. It gets easier for an older person to get down and up off the floor or down and up out of a chair. They get
Mm.
more energy. They feel like walking and doing. They can engage in life again,
Mm.
and it's really quite miraculous. But it makes a lot of sense though, because if you look at most people when they get older, they do less and less and less
Yeah,
because
yeah.
they want to retire or whatever, so they get more sedentary. So they're not using their body, and their body starts to lose the qualities that it no longer needs because it's not being used.
Mm-hmm.
So movement begets movement, and disuse begets disuse also.
Yeah, like they use it or lose it.
Use it or lose it. That's it.
All right. So, like, what are the some of the examples of your old clients? If you have any, like, they are started from not moving to like doing regular things. Have you
Oh,
find any crazy things?
yeah, lots of really amazing stories. People getting rid of walkers or canes, no
Mm.
longer needing them. People scheduled for surgeries that they
Oh.
decide to cancel, no longer needing them because they can move pain-free again.
Mm-hmm.
Um, just overall joy in the ability to engage in their life again, or maybe get down on the floor and play with their grandkids for the first time,
Mm-hmm.
things like that. So, which are, I mean, those are life-changing, outcomes or events. And it doesn't just change their lives; it changes all the people's lives that they interact with too.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Yeah, true,
so it
true.
just makes everything better. So lots of stories like that.
That's amazing. That's like magical experience. That's nice. So, like, do you like refer scientific studies stuff or not? Or you're based on experience, you tend to do things?
Uh, I mean, I'm aware that there's science is out there, and I
I'm just curious. Please don't mind.
say what?
No, no offense. I was just curious about that. Yeah.
No, so
I
I
was.
have
Sorry. Oh, yeah. Please go. Yeah.
I have discovered that there's a lot of science that actually backs up and affirms what we do with OS. But when OS started, some of it was just a knowing, um, and a big, I guess, a leap of faith.
Yeah.
But the experiential data that we got,
Mm.
seeing lives change, seeing people move better, seeing miracles happen right in front of our eyes I mean, that didn't make any sense. Like people being able to do something for the first time that in 30 or 20 years that they haven't been able to do. It's hard to ignore
Yeah.
the
Exactly.
proof when it's in your face.
True. True.
Fortunately, not, well, it's not even fortunate. I mean, because it doesn't matter to me if science agrees with it or not, because I know what's real.
Yeah.
But in the last several years, a lot of science has come around to back up what's happening and what we're seeing.
Okay. And connected to this moment? Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, yeah, it's true. Like,
And I don't know if you know him. You might know him. I don't know. But there's have you ever heard of Sadhguru?
yeah, Sadhguru. Yeah, yeah.
So
I
he
know.
has this thing where it's like, don't take anybody. His thing is you don't know anything until you experience it.
Ah, yeah, yeah, yeah.
So it
That's true.
doesn't matter what's in a book if you
Yeah,
don't experience it. How real is it if you haven't experienced it? So
yeah,
and that really kind of resonates with what I've learned through OS is experience is the greatest teacher.
yeah. That makes perfect sense. Yeah, yeah. Like we talked about moment a lot now, so it doesn't complete if we don't speak about nutrition and sleep a little bit.
Okay.
How important is nutrition for everyday Joe?
I think nutrition's important. I mean that kind of I mean probably everybody knows nutrition is important, but I think what's really important is your thoughts about your nutrition are probably more important because
Uh,
if you're negative thinking or you're down on yourself or you're angry or you feel guilty about the food you eat or the food you don't eat, well then
mhm.
you've put your nervous system in sympathetic mode, which is not rest and digest mode. And if
Mhm.
you're not in rest and digest mode, well, it doesn't, what's your body going to do with that food?
Yeah.
How's that food going to be useful to you if you can't digest it appropriately? So, so even if you're eating very nutritious food, if your
Mm.
mindset, if you're in sympathetic mode and you can't get the nutrients out of it, what good does that do? So I
Mhm.
think more important as important as getting good nutrition is having your nervous system in a parasympathetic state, which
Mhm.
means your thoughts about your food, your body, all your thoughts have to be in line with that as well.
Mhm. Mhm.
Like Dan John says, eat protein, eat
Yeah.
vegetables, drink water,
What?
just the common things, right? All that stuff's important, but if you can't digest it and get the nourishment out of it, it's it's
Mhm.
it's not helping you.
Mhm. What about the supplementation, protein shakes? What are the supplements do you take? If I can ask.
So because I'm weird because I like the taste of food, but I'm also lazy.
Uh,
Um, and so I will do protein shakes, but they have to taste like dessert. So,
uh,
so I come up with all these crazy concoctions like mixing protein powder with chocolate milk or pudding or something where it just feels like I'm having dessert.
yeah.
Um, because like I don't know, I enjoy eating, but sometimes it's just not convenient to try to cook something and then eat.
True,
Having
true.
said that, though, I really love good tasting food, so I try to make sure at least one time a day that I eat something that I'm very happy about.
Yeah, that's the protein shake. Chocolate.
No, along with the protein shake.
Oh, along with the protein shake. Okay, the
Yeah, like
dessert.
I try to have one, like at least one really good meal that is not the protein shake that I'm really happy about.
Mm.
Because I believe that we have taste buds for a reason and that we should enjoy the experience of eating.
Yeah, true. That makes
So
perfect.
but I do cut corners sometimes, and I will do protein shakes, or when I think about it, I'll take omega-3 fatty acids,
Mm.
or if I think about it, vitamin D3 seems to be the thing to take now. So especially during COVID season, so I take vitamin D3.
Yeah, because even I.
So variety's good. I mean, because that's where you get your spectrum of different nutrients.
Uh-huh.
But I understand because we are creatures of habit, right? So good, better, best. Good is getting in proteins, carbs, and fats.
Yeah.
Better would be getting in more variety, and best maybe, going seasonally with the foods as they change in season. But still, the one thing that would make any of those better would be to eat whatever it is you're eating with gratitude or a grateful heart.
Okay.
Because then you're bathing that food in a very parasympathetic way of going about consuming it.
Okay. Yeah. Thanks for that. It would help me in the near future. Uh, like, so do you eat organic food then, or do you eat from the supermarket?
I do both. If what I want is available organically, I'll get it. But I've also learned not to stress it if it's not. Um, because again, gratitude. Like, thank you for this beautiful looking banana or orange or apple, whether it's organic or not.
Mm-hmm.
And that way, I'm not eating it thinking, oh, I've just poisoned myself. Because
Exactly.
that goes, because think about, like whatever you're lacing it,
Yeah,
whatever thoughts you lace your food in,
that
well, you've
gets.
set yourself up for, I mean, could it be a self-fulfilling prophecy? Who knows?
Yeah, yeah, that makes sense. Like, it's programming your mind.
Yes.
Yes, yes,
And the
yes.
body is really good at running out the program. The body follows the program.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. True. The hardware and software. Yeah. And so I haven't read much about this, but what do you think about diabetes? It's very common in India. Do you really think it's not like the lack of movement and good nutrition and sleep?
I, I think it's probably a spectrum of or a collection of different things. I think it could be lack of movement for sure. It could be lack of sleep. But okay, so what do movement and or no movement, lack of sleep bring? They bring in stress.
Yeah.
So it could be like a stress and also stress induced, like all these things that come together.
Mm-hmm.
Um, because a lot of people in today's world, we don't all breathe the way we're supposed to, so that's a stressor. We've got all this information coming in all the time, 24/7. Most of it's negative. That's a stressor. Don't
Mm-hmm.
get good sleep, another stressor. All of these things cause inflammation. And what
Mm-hmm.
is disease or diabetes but a response of dis-ease? The body is not at ease.
Yeah.
So then then it struggles and it manifests issues like high blood pressure, heart issues, diabetes issues, blood sugar issue, whatever. So I think all of these things could probably more stress related than necessarily nutrition related. Nutrition is going to play a part in it because again, they all play a part. But
Yeah.
I don't think it's just as easy or as simple as saying diabetes is caused from a nutritional issue.
Mm-hmm.
I,
Yeah.
I think it's multifactorial.
Yeah. Fair enough. I think I see you're in a standing desk, is it?
Yes,
Or
it is.
yeah. So you don't use a chair?
I do use a chair,
Regular.
and I do both.
Yeah.
One of the things I've learned is that changing positions is good, right? Like,
Yeah.
so it's not good just to always stand, especially if you're
Yeah.
not moving. But going from a chair going to stand. So I like this morning I spent a few hours in a chair. So this afternoon I'm standing more.
Ah, okay, okay, okay. So it's not like not just standing there. Okay, okay. So it's more about changing positions, you're saying.
Yes, more about just moving in and out of different positions to stimulate the vestibular system and body and give it something new, a new stimulus.
Yeah, I do a 10-minute ground sitting routine. That's really helpful, like different position. Even you have done YouTube videos on that. Yeah,
Yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah. And that is very good for you.
Yeah, true, true, true. Like the full flexibility as well improves, and we can maintain it easily. And you feel amazing after that. That's the
Oh
only.
yeah. Man, anytime you can spend time on the floor or the ground is that's good time.
Yeah. Okay. So, like, do you do cold showers, or do you follow? Do you follow the cold shower? It's in the research, scientific literature that cold shower is really good for training the mind to in the rest in. You said we are talking about in the stress situation coming down.
Hmm.
So it's really training that they say.
I have done that. I've gone through seasons of it. When I've done it, I've enjoyed it, and when I've not done it, I've also enjoyed not doing it. So it's one of those things I've learned I can do. I don't
Mm,
I don't feel like I need to do it all the time. I'll go through periods where I want to do it every day or a few times a week, and then I'll
yeah.
go through periods where I don't want to do it at all.
Hmm.
And one of the things again, going back to John Brookfield, he challenged me to do cold water dousing several years ago, and that
Yeah.
challenge became a thing where I did it every day for a year.
Oh my God. Okay.
So, and then again at that point though, the day I stopped it was again, Tim, you don't need to do this anymore, and
Ah.
so I just walked away from it.
Oh, okay. Okay. You don't do it anymore then. Okay.
I
Got
mean,
it.
there
Got it.
are great health
Yeah.
benefits to it.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah. Good to explore. Yeah.
yeah, it's great to explore, but I tend to be more of a obsessive compulsive type person where if I latch on to something, I'll just keep doing it, keep doing it, keep doing it. So I don't recommend that somebody be very ritualistic about it.
Yeah. 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 True. True. True.
Do it for the enjoyment of it or for the
Yeah.
for the love of what it gives you, but don't just do it because you feel like you got to check the box to do it.
Yeah. Don't make it a habit. And trying like different new things. You're saying essentially. What do you think about that? Like doing different stuff every now and then. Yeah, not every now and then. Every like in throughout, like being a generalist, for example, as Dan John speaks.
Uh, I think that's great, especially if you're interested in doing the new thing. Um, like there are some things out there that I have no interest in trying, so I
Mm,
don't want to. I just don't want to try to
yeah.
learn those things.
Yeah.
but for the things that I think would fit well for me, like I think it's great to be curious and to find out, new things that you may enjoy.
Yeah.
Um, but so yeah, but that's the whole point of being able to enjoy your life is to experience new things, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's really where I think original strength or pressing reset shines because it allows people to experience more.
Okay. That's right. Yeah. Okay. 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 So, okay. What advice would you give for? I'm talking about the new strength and conditioning coaches here. What advice would you give for the new strength and conditioning coaches who are wants to start a career in that industry
Oh man.
from 20 years of experience, 20 or more? Yeah.
Uh, just kind of like what you said. Don't be afraid to try new things. Like, so just because you learn something in a book doesn't mean that that's the only way to do something.
Yeah.
And people rarely fit into books. So if you're working with athletes, each one of them is an individual, and really you have to learn the individual. You can't necessarily just apply all the knowledge you had on that one person because one size does not fit all.
Hmm.
So you really have to create relationships with your athletes to
Yeah.
be able to best serve them. And but that's the beauty of it too, because then, I mean, it is about relationships, and good relationships are priceless. But
Mm-hmm.
but it would be that, it would just be that, make sure you're seeing a person and not just what the textbook says you should be doing for that person.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Any courses you would recommend, or is that all the advice?
Well, I do think that pressing reset workshop is very valuable because it helps you tap into everybody's potential,
Mm-hmm.
and it allows you to find out what individual people might need for their own selves.
Okay.
So it does help you get past barriers as far as like what works for you versus what works for me versus what works for somebody else, because we're all different. So I do think that course is great. And then I like the original strength performance course for
Okay.
strength and conditioning coaches because it teaches you how to take a traditional strength and conditioning model
Mm-hmm.
and how to weave in original strength to it and really help to create and develop athletic performance.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So
And
I
anything Dan John puts out is pretty good.
uh, no doubt about it. Yeah, it's wonderful. He was also not he don't recommend certs. He said it's like he doesn't believe in checking the boxes.
Right.
He was, and he was like experience yourself and stuff like that. So we talked about. I think fat loss is also a very interesting topic for all our viewers. How does original strength help in fat loss? Is that the breath? Essentially, we are speaking about rest and digest mode.
So yeah, because if you can get the body in parasympathetic mode, where the natural default state,
Yeah,
then all the systems are going to work better.
yeah.
So inflammation can leave the body, and sometimes people hold on to weight because of inflammation, or they hold on to weight because they're just not able to their metabolism's just not working right because the body's under stress.
Mm-hmm.
So what if it was as silly as learning how to breathe or learning how to move your head often that would
Mm-hmm.
allow you to sleep better, that would allow you to digest food better, that would allow your body to let go of fat that it was holding on to that it didn't need.
Mm-hmm. Okay, okay, makes sense. Yeah. I don't. Any particular book recommendations from you to the viewers? Like for general success, I know the original strength book recommendation. Other than that, or you can mention that as well, yeah, if you want.
I really like, books that aren't mine. I like 15 Commitments to Conscious Leadership, I think is a great book.
Okay.
Very, very good. Man, I wish I'd known you were gonna ask me that because I love books. Into the Magic Shop by James Doty, a phenomenal book.
Okay.
Uh, I'm opening up my library here.
Sure, sure.
Let Them Lead was a great book about leadership. from Coach John U. Bacon.
Okay, great.
And honestly, because you were talking about visualization and getting the body to move better and things like that, or does our success follow where we put our visualization?
Mm-hmm.
Psycho-Cybernetics is a fantastic book.
Psycho-cybernetics. Who
Those
are?
those should
Yeah.
get you started.
Cool, cool. Thanks for the recommendation. And who are the most fascinating guests you had in your interview?
Oh man,
Like, if you want to name two or three.
sure. Carla Hannaford, Dr. Joan Vernikos,
Yeah.
uh, Liz Cook, Dan John. I've been had some really phenomenal guests. James Doty. Like it's just really wonderful conversations with amazing people.
Yeah. True, true. Even I enjoyed it. Dr. Ellen Langer as well, right?
She is phenomenal. Ellen Langer, the mother of mindfulness. I
Yeah.
mean, she is wonderful. So yeah, you could just, if you wanted to, not that you have to, you could just train people through OS or use OS along with something else. Like that would be really up to what your style and your philosophy is and your approach.
Yeah, yeah, okay. Like Mark Shropshire, he includes a lot of OS moments in his.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
All
so
right.
for some of us like Mark, OS becomes quite foundational because then once you have a solid foundation, you can put anything on top of it that you want to. So whether
Mm-hmm.
it's CrossFit, powerlifting, sandbag lifting, Olympic weightlifting, all of those stack really well on top of OS.
Okay. Even the plyometrics as well.
Yep,
Yeah.
absolutely. Well, so yeah, because if you're least likely to get injured, then that's the only time you should do plyometrics. Like
Yeah.
if the body's not ready for explosive movements and things like that, and that's where the injuries are typically higher, you want a very good solid foundation.
Okay. Okay. So this is what do you recommend school like students or teachers? Uh, what do you recommend? I like as a moment, like what do you recommend from the original strength system?
So for students or teachers, so it's proven that learning happens better when we're moving.
Uh,
And the body's designed to move, and that's what keeps the brain alert, and that's what helps the brain focus and regulate itself.